Hey guys, the following video is actually a small section taken from my course. I wanted to kind of tease it and also help you guys out that are looking for what role you might want to optimally play. If you guys are interested and you like the content of this video, the course you can find on my Patreon in the top link in the description below. Enjoy and peace. Hey guys, so in this section of the course, I'm going to be explaining why selecting a single role to main in Valorant is so extremely valuable, right? So you don't have to select just one role to play, but I'm going to be providing you guys with a case as to why you should select a role and maybe how you should go about doing it, right? So whenever I coach people, their response to what agents do you play is usually, they definitely play more than one role most of the time. And some of the time, people say that they are filling into any role and playing any agent. So if you guys have fell into this trap, you're not alone. But this is a trap because, yes, you can be simply mediocre at every role. But what we're really trying to get at here is that you can be extremely good at just one thing, right? So it's kind of like whenever you're, getting an education, you learn a little about a lot, but whenever you really kind of go to college, you major in something, you learn a lot about a little. And that's basically the same idea here. So if we want to main one of the four roles, duelist, initiator, controller, or sentinel, right? We're learning a little bit about learning a lot about a little bit. So a little bit being the one role that you're picking, instead of, oh, I main all of these, right? Because if you just play everything anytime ever, you're not really specializing, right? That's what we want to think of this as. We're specializing in a role. So for me, if you guys didn't know, I do play Jett and Reyna. So this is a very common agent pool. I'm sure that probably quite a lot of you guys watching this also play this agent pool. So, if you guys already have your agent pool figured out, you can kind of skim through to the next area. But there is a little bit of important details you can learn from this section. So if you aren't currently playing in one role, basically what you want to do is select a role. It's kind of hard. It's not really that hard to start with a role. The hardest part is probably, just doing it, right? Just saying to yourself, okay, I'm playing this role now from now on. The problem is probably commitment, right? You feel like you don't want to commit to just a single role if you fail a lot. But the thing is, it's completely fine to swap out of the role that you want to main, right? And main a different role. You just don't want to swap too much, right? So if you're currently maining, initiators, right? And you feel like, oh, this role is not for me. So you want to swap completely, maybe you go duelist or maybe you go even more extreme to like sentinels for some reason. That's completely fine. What's really important is that you're consistently playing the same agents in the same role, right? Because again, when you're doing this, you're specializing in a specific thing. And whenever you specialize in a specific thing, you become better than those around you. And whenever you become better at those around you, you're going to rank up and you're going to win and it's going to become easier, right? So, in one role, I usually would say picking 2 to 3 agents is the ideal range. So if you're a duelist, for me, this is a perfect example. Jett and Reyna. Something that people often ask me a lot, if I play Jett and Reyna, is Chamber an acceptable pick? Absolutely, right? Oops. Oh, that's unfortunate. We can go to the agent page, though. So the reason Chamber is a good pick with Jett and Reyna is because Jett and Reyna have a get out of jail free card, and basically they all just play very similarly, right? Chamber's very good at kind of just excelling for picks, going for picks and getting out. That's essentially what Jett and Reyna do as well. Although, right, you have to understand that Sentinel or Chamber does have Sentinel job as well, and that's something that Reyna and Jett do not have. So keep that in mind. You can kind of slightly overlap with other roles depending on how you want to play a certain agent. Like for example, some of the time I say, if you want to play an aggressive Omen and you play, like Reyna. Sure, why not, right? Why not try it? Sure. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that Omen is a controller for a reason. He has smokes for a reason. If you're not using his smokes and you're playing him like a duelist only, that's gonna not be good, right? So, if you are wanting to main Sentinel, think about also, this is important, think about what is best in the highest level of play. Because if you play something that's really weak in the highest level of play, it doesn't really matter that much. But if you actually start improving, which you're going to improve if you watch this whole course through, you're probably going to want to swap to a stronger pick because like Cypher right now, for example, is in a pretty weak spot. You're much better off with Chamber and Killjoy if you like to play more, standard or more classic Sentinels. Killjoy is probably where it's at right now. Sage also pretty good on some maps, but keep that in mind, right? So yeah, it's also good to pick the role that you enjoy playing most, right? So if you love playing duelist, but you're like, oh, I can't. This is very common, by the way. If you love playing duelist and it's what you enjoy playing the most, but you have low confidence, and you're like, oh, I'm not very good at fragging. I think I should go play I think I should go play controller, right? Instead of doing that, just get good at playing duelists. There's no reason that you can't build confidence. There's no reason you can't be better at fragging in comp. The only thing that holds you back is not playing the agents, right? Play the agents. Like, whenever you get into a game, like, insta-lock, right? Lock in this agent, and, you know, or if it's Reyna, Jet and Reyna, it doesn't matter, right? Even if it's, like, Initiator, you're like, oh, I don't have, you know, it's not right for me, that's fine, right? If the role is actually not right for you, and you just don't want to play it, because you don't enjoy it, that's completely fine. But if you actually really enjoy playing this role, like, I love Skye, and I love Sova, but I just feel like, you know, you have a lack of confidence, then, you know, play them. Just play them, because you're going to build confidence over time. That's what I really want you guys to realize, is playing what you enjoy is going to be more beneficial for you. And again, if you end up, you know, say we were starting with, you know, Reyna and Jet, and we end up not liking these two picks, it's completely fine to just swap off. And go, okay, I'm not really liking entering. I don't really like going, you know, I don't really like playing duelist, so I'm going to go Initiator. Because, right, another thing you can understand is duelists and Initiators are like cousins, and Sentinels and Controllers are kind of like cousins, because they're, Sentinels and Controllers are kind of passive, a little more passive in nature, and duelists and Initiators are a little more aggressive in nature, because their primary job is to take space, take control of sites, and do it in front of the Controllers and Sentinels. The Sentinels and Controllers' job is to provide support, you know, smoke off areas, you know, have, you know, flank watch, stuff like that, flank with trips, stuff like that. And so really think how you play and just kind of try to match that. So, you know, it might seem like I'm going a bit in depth here, but people ask me this quite often, like, and mainly because as well, a lot of people that I coach, like I said, play multiple roles and they think that that's fine, which it's just not fine, right? People, you have to understand, pros in this game are not good at playing multiple roles. Only a very few select number of people are excel a lot at playing multiple roles, from my understanding, right? So who are you to think that you can be, you know, any better than them at whatever rank you're at, right? Because you're most likely not a pro. If you're watching this and you're a pro, you know, much love to you, but, you know, you're not really the person that I'm speaking to. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say. This part is really important to get out of the way at the very start, because again, we want to basically, we're developing your framework for how you see things, because, right, so if you watch this whole course and you're not thinking about through a specific agent's eyes or a specific role's eyes, it's really going to be hard for you to kind of, you know, for you to take it in as well as you could be, right? As effectively as you could be. If you're seeing as, oh, I'm a Yoru one trick, by the way, I said 2 to 3 agents is the ideal range. It's okay to one trick, but just understand that you're not always going to get that agent no matter what agent you pick. Some agents you'll get more than others. Like if you main Astra or you one trick Astra, you're going to get Astra a lot. But if you one trick Reyna or Jet, you're going to have to swap off of that quite often. So I think 2 is probably the sweet spot. 3 is fine. I wouldn't go over 3 because that's just too many. But again, we want to select a role or a main role, couple of agents at the start here, so that we have a framework to see the tutorials that I'm giving you guys, the guides and the fundamentals that I'm teaching you guys. Because if we're just seeing this as, oh, you know, I don't play any one role or any one agent, you know, it's much less effective in my opinion. So this is a very important section. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys that needed it. If you guys did not need it, thanks for watching it anyway, but I will see you guys in the next part. Peace.